undefeated in pool play, but had to go 5 sets to ensure a spot in the semifinals. Grandview had clinched a spot in the semis before dropping a match to top seed Missouri Baptist last night. The winner advances to face Aquinas in tomorrow's championship match. Semifinal number 2, 3-seeded Benedictine Mesa taking on the Grandview Vikings, the 4-seed, on their home court here in Des Moines, Iowa. It is the second semifinal of the NAIA Men's Volleyball National Championship match alongside Tim Keating. I am Brad Wells, and Tim, kind of interesting how these two teams got to this semifinals, as once Benedictine won their first match, the pressure really was off both these teams yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grandview played in their match yesterday against Mobap, who ended up losing that last semifinal. And they were both 2-0. They both knew they were coming on to Friday. It was just a matter of who were they going to play. When Benedictine played yesterday, they won their first set of their match, and they knew that they were coming to the national semifinal. It was a matter of if they won the match, was Aquinas going to be in here? And we saw Aquinas with the upset in the last match.
Yeah, the 6-seeded Aquinas Saints get the win. As we take a look at pool play, number 1, Lords, the number 2 overall seed, fell to Benedictine and Aquinas, and now Aquinas into that championship match will face the winner of this semifinal. But Benedictine 3-0 in pool play Group A. For Group B, it was Grandview losing to Missouri Baptist yesterday, but they've still been playing well this week.
They absolutely have been playing well, and they've been overcoming some different things, but they've been playing a high energy, high level game.
One of their All-Americans is Felix Chapman, and he is a big, strong physical presence at the net for the Grandview Vikings.
Yeah, 2-time All-American and the Player of the Year right now for the NAIA. He comes in with about 335 kills into the tournament, and so he's inching closer and closer to about 360, 370 right now. But look for them to get the ball to him as much as, and he provides the energy for this crowd and to this home crowd to get into it.
For the Benedictine Redhawks, it's Jaron Jones, the setter, really doing a good job distributing the ball and playing tough.
Senior setter, leader on the court. Not much more to ask for if you're Ray Lewis, the head coach of Benedictine. He really does a great job of distributing the ball, like you said, and look to him to make great decisions and get some one-on-one blocks for his team.
All right, it is a rematch of last year's championship match. The winner tonight will go to the championship match here in 2019. The NAIA Men's Volleyball Semifinal coming your way from Des Moines, Iowa.
I'm Dick DeMoon, head coach of the 2018 United Bowl champion Iowa Barnstormers. Catch another exciting season of Barnstormer indoor football home games live on MC22, your award-winning local sports program leader.
And the atmosphere is amplified in Des Moines, Iowa, as we welcome you inside the Charles S. Johnson Wellness Center. The Benedictine Mesa Redhawks get set to battle the Grandview Vikings for the final spot in tomorrow's championship match. As these two teams met a season ago in the championship match right here in Des Moines, Grandview using the energy of the home crowd to earn a 3-1 win and a national title. And they'll be looking to use the home crowd here to get into that championship match as a fun atmosphere. These fans really get behind the Vikings here.
Yeah, what was interesting is looking back at the results from last year. They were in the same pool, and Benedictine won that first match of 2018 in their pool play, and then Grandview came back in the finals to take down Benedictine in the finals.
All right, and it should be a fun one here today as we have a couple of All-Americans on both sides of the ledger. For the Benedictine Mesa Red Hawks, Jaron Jones, the senior setter, we talked about him, but also Bobby Hennig, the All-American. Coach Ray Lewis really wanted to make sure that we talked about his All-American. Hennig lives an hour from campus. Glendale is his home. Makes the trip. There was a look at Grandview head coach Donan Cruz. He is in his 9th season as head coach.
National Coach of the Year in 2014 and 2015 for Donan. He's really done a great job with this program. Kind of like I mentioned in the last match about the discipline of teams. He lets them have fun, but they know when it's go time and when he starts to talk.
2018 NAIA National Championship that he brought to the program. Benedictine Mesa head coach Ray Lewis in his 2nd year as head coach. He was an assistant in 2017, as now 2nd year of tournament eligibility volleyball. 6th year of the school's existence. And Ray Lewis done a good job with this men's program.
Yeah, I've been around Ray the last couple of nights, and he's same thing. He's very excited that his team's back here again and in this position to be playing for a national championship. But really, he loves the camaraderie around this event. He says he loves coming to Des Moines and playing at Grandview, which I don't know why from Arizona you'd like to come to Iowa, although it is nice springtime out right now. But he's done a great job with this program, and he's going to continue to take it and go leaps and bounds.
Now, as we get set for this program to begin, his big key is to keep an eye on Felix Chapman, number 18 for Grandview, the 6'8" middle blocker, the big man, the All-American. He's been a key for a lot of teams this year, but Grandview, they've been able to ride him to a 20-2 record as he does a lot for Grandview up front.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup here tonight in the nightcap. Felix Chapman's going to be a big energy role and a big offensive role for the Grandview Vikings. And like we said in the opening there, Jones has got to be able to distribute the ball, and when Felix is front row for the Vikings, he's got to get the ball away from him, because that's a block that nobody wants to go against, especially if there's 4 hands up there, not just his 2.
There you see Logan Adcock, the nice mustache up front for Benedictine Mesa, the senior out of Glendale, Arizona from Deer Valley High School. Leads the team in kills, nearly 300 on the season. Top 10 in the NAIA for aces, digs. Fantastic all-around player, continuing to get better.
And you said it, the only thing better than his stats is that mustache.
Yeah. They will play with some energy. Now, Coach Lewis really wants to make sure they play with the right positive energy. Emotions, something he wanted to keep in check, especially knowing that Grandview has that home crowd behind them. Wants to make sure that they don't let it affect them too much in this semifinal match.
Well, and the teams that have played Grandview here at the home crowd, because this is a typical crowd at their home matches outside of the tournament, and they'll find out Felix will get big kills. The crowd will get into it because of that, but it's not just because of the kills. He's going to score his points. He's going to scream and yell at the crowd, and Benedictine has to do a good job of siding out right after that happens and calming everything down.
So we get things started with Jaron Jones, the senior setter. 2018 was in NAIA, honorable mention, All-American. This season an All-American as Chapman takes the first swing for Grandview. That's Adcock, and
Logan Adcock, the senior for Benedictine Mesa, puts the Red Hawks on the board first.
Yeah, Logan Adcock came into the tournament with about 270 kills. He's already surpassed the 300 mark from his matches this weekend. And he takes a nice sharp cut cross court just out of the hands of Seabra, and Chapman couldn't handle it.
Two contacts on the Red Hawks.
Call we didn't see made at all in the first match of the night. So it'll be interesting to see where that line is for ball handling.
So back to serve DJ McInerney, the center for the Vikings. Adcock, the big swing up in the rafters. The Vikings are able to play it. Jaron Jones delivers. John Shimoni on the swing.
Logan Adcock did a great job of lining up this block and putting his middle in a position to actually block that ball. Logan didn't even touch the ball, but he put himself in a position to get that middle in the right spot.
Adcock on the block, misses the serve, and now back to the service line goes John Shimoni. 6'3" senior out of Miami Beach, Florida. #1 in the NAIA and aces per set. 0.63 aces per set. Chapman going over the net.
Yeah, they called a reach over on Chapman there. You know, one of the things we tell players as a coach is if that ball's anywhere tight to the net, you got to put your hands straight up above the net. You can't reach over even with one finger, or that official's going to call that.
Chapman, a little give and go, goes up and delivers a big time kill.
You're going to see Benedictine serve like that all night. When Felix is in serve receive, they're going to try to draw him inside to pass that ball to force him to hit an inside out swing where he's coming from inside the court to the outside attack. Now, he may audible in to hit something inside the court to put himself in a position where he doesn't have to do that.
Swing on the right side by Devin Hill. He's out. Benedictine with the point. Takes the lead. Hill checks out. Trenton Udall back to serve. Junior out of Gilbert, Arizona. 6-foot defensive specialist. Big time block by Wyatt Henson, the junior out of California. A first-year guy for Benedictine Mesa.
What a heck of a block by Wyatt Henson there. He was left one-on-one with the attack, and he did a great job of diving his hands. He realized his middle wasn't there. He dove his hands inside the court and put it down.
Outside swing for Jesus Izaguirre, senior out of Phoenix, Arizona.
He just kind of threw that thumb down a little too much. When you're on the right side and you're swinging down the line, you got to make sure that thumb doesn't come underneath, or else that ball's going to get cut.
Service ace, and Benedictine Mesa rolling here in the opening set.
Interesting to see Coach Donan Cruz called an early timeout yesterday. We'll see if he will call another one here if the run continues.
Service error by Udall. For Grandview back to serve. There's Isidro Polanco. Bobby Hennig from the middle. So tough in that middle.
Bobby Hennig's had a great tournament already, and he's taken some big swings just like that. The nice thing that he did here as we look at the replay is he took off from behind the setter, even though the setter set the ball from the 9-foot line, from right about inside the 10-foot line. So that's real important to all the middles out there, is to stay behind your setter when they're off the net so you can create that angle.
Chapman, did he take enough off? He did not. Too strong off the back line. It's a 5-point lead for the Red Hawks.
That's about as early as I've seen Chapman take any speed off of his swing all week.
McInerney right back to Chapman. The touch, amazing touch by Izaguirre, but out the back line, it's a Grandview point.
He didn't delay to put that speed back on the swing there on the very next one. So yeah, did a nice job of getting outside the court and creating an angle so he could get that ball down.
Felix Chapman, middle blocker out of San Jose de las Lajas, Cuba. Able to put it down is Polanco.
Polanco does such a great job of creating off-speed shots and over top of the defense. Benedictine plays pretty similar to a middle defense where all three of their defenders are in the middle of the court, and to be able to hit that shot with so much accuracy, that's a vulnerable part of the court.
Joust up at the net. Great job by Jones to keep it alive. Attack by Polanco. Rattles around. Adcock pushes it over. Chapman the swing. Missed wide. Point for the Red Hawks.
And he tried to turn that ball a little bit too much to the left. Let's see if it catches a sideline. You can't tell from that angle. I don't know. My eyes didn't transition fast enough.
These balls are moving so fast out there on this floor. Swing by Shimoni. Number 2 off the block and down for Grandview.
Yeah, they went right back to him on the out-of-system swing in the set by Felix there. And Benedictine did a great job of recognizing the out-of-system swing and putting 3 blockers out there against him. He swung about as hard as he could into the top of the hands that goes out of bounds.
I'm talking to Benedictine head coach Ray Lewis, said they've been driven all season by a bitter taste in their mouth, losing the championship match to Grandview, and now an opportunity here tonight for redemption. And a good start for them to be able to get an early lead and settle into this semifinal match.
I thought it was interesting as I was looking through their season schedule. Neither of these 2 semifinals opponents played each other throughout the season. So a lot of these teams will travel around the country playing these tournaments that they'll go and play 3, 4, even sometimes 5 tournament matches in a weekend, but they travel to get the competition. None of these teams played each other.
They meet for the first time. Grandview pulls within 3. Shimoni
found the best angle he could swing there, right in between the defenders.
Big time stuff on that right side. Polanco and Crawford.
Man, that was one of those blocks that the ball hit the floor before either one of the athletes came down. Those can be such a momentum swing as well.
Jones trying to get things rolling here with the Red Hawks as Hill missed it deep. No touch, and it is Grandview within a point.
Chapman has such a great vision when he's blocking at the net. He can close very well. What people don't realize is his true vision on defense. He's back there. That man can envision where that ball's going to be. He doesn't make wrong decisions very much.
Trevin Clisby, the sophomore, with his first kill of this match here in the second semi. As we take another look.
You know, what's interesting, different from the first match of the night, that might have been either the first or second kill out of the middle in this second match, whereas the game plan for the other match was to go to the middle as much as we can early on and then score on the outside.
There's Felix Chapman in the middle. How much does Coach Cruz like to move him around to get him some different looks?
There's not a spot on the floor that he doesn't want him to take a swing from. They set him out of the back row on the Bic. They set him out of the right back positioning, left back positioning. I think they'd set him if he was 10 feet off the court too. Just from anywhere that he trusts him sending the ball over. What you'll notice about Felix also is McInerney, and this is credit to McInerney, he'll move him around at the net as well. There won't be one zone of the net. We typically line the net up into 9 zones, 9 even zones, and he'll hit out all 9 of those zones.
Great touch in the back row by Izaguirre. And the Red Hawks get the point out of it.
It was a kind of a scramble play there by both teams. It was a one-arm dig by Chapman, and they just couldn't handle the second contact out of the net.
Jesus Izaguirre. And Chapman ends the Red Hawks run.
As hard as Chapman swings at the ball, you know, he can create that energy with those swings. But I'll tell you what, sometimes when he gets blocked, it can really create energy for the other team because of that block and how big it is.
Back to serve. Rafael Seabra. There's a block at the net. Polanco got the contact on it. And the Red Hawks, really tough attack. Put in a great spot.
What you notice there, as we look at the replay, they had the triple block set for the out-of-system attack, and they dropped off like a free ball was coming. They didn't have a chance to swing it. And I don't know if they would have blocked it for how high of a shot it was, but they dropped off the net, and the defense was looking the other direction.
Here's Trenton Udall. This is Chapman. Chapman gets the point. Great touch by Izaguirre, but Benedictine couldn't get it out of the net.
There's not many people that can hit the ball that angle. I mean, that thing was going to land at about the 8-foot line cross court. Libero did a great job of getting underneath that ball. They just couldn't handle the next contact. But I'll tell you what, if the Libero for the Red Hawks, number 3, Izaguirre, if he continues to make touches on Felix, it's going to start to frustrate Chapman. And that's what he needs to do. He's going to dive inside. He's got to make sure he's putting his body behind the ball.
Bobby Hennig with another kill.
Seems like we've been at that 3-point lead for quite a while. A little bit of a back-and-forth battle in the middle of this set. And that makes it hard on a coach such as Donan to pull the trigger on, so to speak, on that timeout.
Chapman able to slide it down. Went up high to get that one.
The Chapman touches 12 foot, and I don't care who you are blocking. That's tough to block. Now, when he tries to go for that really, really big kill, that one he hit it at a pretty high rate, a high height. But when he's trying to put that ball straight down, he's only hitting the ball, and I say only cautiously, he's only hitting the ball at maybe 10-8. And the blockers in this league and at this championship event, they can block balls at that level.
Good contact. Goes across outside.
I tell you what, the tournament, whoever did the tournament camera work for all the pregame stuff on TV here, he's got to have a lot of great clips. We had a ton of foot contacts over the net this week. We should put a highlight reel together of the foot contacts.
Well, every point has just been battled so hard as Jones tried to slide it down the line. He may have been looking for drawing contact as he shot it right out of bounds.
Yeah, he did. He looked at we had a great angle from up here. What he tried to do was turn like he was going to joust with Shimone, and he tried to throw it off of his left hand, and Shimone did a great job of bringing his left hand back inside a little bit, and he missed it.
Middle attack for Hennig. As Bobby Hennig, over 200 kills on the season now, leads the team with his .388 attack percentage. Top 5 in the NAIA for total blocks on the season.
Hennig hasn't really tipped that much in this tournament, and I think that's the defenders of Grandview respecting that, but keeping them on the backs of their heels, and that ball went right in front of the defense.
Adcock just could not quite tip that one down quick enough. Grandview, the point is it rolls the net.
Yeah, looking like he kind of the same thing that happened on the right side of the net there a couple plays ago. He's trying to do the same thing on the left.
Jones to Adcock.
Adcock is such an aggressive player at the net. Plays with a lot of emotion. You know, what height is he? I can't remember what we have on him. 6'2". He's not overly big as a player, but he plays big.
On the swing for Grandview is Brennan Crawford, 6'5" middle blocker, the junior.
Yeah, it was a tight pass. McInerney had to go up with one hand, and then with that one hand set, it was a trap set, and those hands the blockers' hands got on the ball as quick as they could.
So here's Jones serving. Swing by Shimoni. And Adcock misses wide left. He knew he missed it right when he hit it too.
Adcock, that's a second. It should be a second hitting error. Looks like the stats haven't updated yet, so he's got 2 kills and 2 errors.
Benedictine here early, hitting 300 as a team. Grandview just 125.
And that was that vision that I was talking about with Felix Chapman. The movement that he made on that attack, and when he was defending that attack, the movement he made into the seam was unreal. And to be able to go dig to kill transition out of the back row and get the kill, just an amazing player.
Side swing for Hill. And then some miscommunication on the Vikings side of the court between Holloway and is it Shimoni?
Yes. And those are plays. You know, we're going to have to remember that play here. You know, once it gets to 24-23, you're going to remember that miscommunication play. I always said as a coach, don't let communication be the reason we lose the late games. And it's going to be communication's good for 1 point a set.
The Red Hawks by 2, and a timeout coming from Grandview head coach Donan Cruz. The third seeded Benedictine Mesa Red Hawks with a 2-point lead late in the first set. It's a block party up front. Both teams taking turns. The Red Hawks turning that one back. So far here in set number 1, the Benedictine Mesa Red Hawks crowd a little more to celebrate about than the home crowd, as they've got a 2-point lead over Grandview here in the opening set. Service honors for Logan Adcock. McInerney to Shimoni. Missed everything, and it's a 3-point lead.
Well, you see there with Shimoni, as he came down, first thing he did was he yelled touch. And I know he knew there was no touch because he was trying to get something. And that's where it gets late in this game, in this set, and you start losing those little points. You start asking for those little things, and they need to get back to just playing the game.
Adcock, a senior out of Glendale, Arizona. This is wide left. Grandview with the serve coming, and John Shimoni, the senior out of Miami Beach, Florida, an NAIA All-American in 2018 and this season here in 2019. Just too deep.
Missed serves could be a big crucial point to this with Grandview, and we had a bad angle. Let's take it and see if we have this on the end line there. Looks like it was out of bounds.
Chapman with the kill.
And there again, Izaguirre got his hands on it. He's going to figure out that positioning on Chapman eventually and where he needs to be. You see it here as he cuts it across. He's got to make that last-minute move to throw his body behind the ball. It's not going to look pretty, but it's going to get in the air and get a chance for the Redhawks to transition.
Seabra serving, and service errors, a few late miscues by Grandview here in this opening set, and Benedictine with set point here in the first.
Yeah, back-to-back serving errors at 22 and 23 are real killers here late in the set.
Brendan Udall, 6-foot junior, serving. Chapman misses wide left. Benedictine Mesa takes set number 1, 25-21. As we head to the second, this is semifinal number 2 in the NAIA Men's Volleyball Championship Tournament. The Benedictine Mesa Redhawks, a 1-0 lead after the first. Set number 1. As we take a look at some highlights, it was the Redhawks looking very strong there in the opening set and getting the win over the host school, Grandview.
Yeah, Grandview made a lot of errors in the first set. They finished with 12 kills and 10 errors in the opening set and hitting 067, whereas the Redhawks are more efficient, 217. Probably not where Coach Ray Lewis wants them to be right now. But at any rate, I think that once Grandview settles in, eliminates some of those hitting errors, we're going to see a good rest of this match.
Felix Chapman, the go-to attacker for Grandview. 8 kills to lead all swingers here in the end of the first set. So you see the attack percentage, the 12 kills, but the 10 errors that you mentioned, Tim.
Yeah, that 067 is a number that Donan probably got handed the stat sheet and just threw it away because he didn't want to look at it. But that number's well, it can only go up really at that point. And then, you know, the aces is even at 1. I'd like to see Grandview pick up the pace of their serve a little bit more. And certainly when Felix is back there, he's got to keep control of it, but still let loose on a few.
All right, we get set for set number 2 here in Des Moines, Iowa, on campus of Grandview University, and this is the second year in a row they have hosted the NAIA National Tournament. Pool play all week long. Both of these teams doing what they have needed to do to get into this championship Final Four. DJ McInerney starts set 2 here in semifinal number 2. The winner will take on 6th seeded Aquinas, a first-year program from Michigan.
Good block touch there by Grandview, kept it on Benedictine's side, and they had to scramble tight to the net. You never want to play at the net. You want to play that ball out of the net back to the middle of the court and give yourself a chance at a swing.
Great touch and save by Hollowell, but the finish by the Redhawks up front.
So we see Hollowell in there. He gets the touch on the dig right there. Diving dig kept it alive. Something we talked about with Donan before the match, head coach Donan Cruz before the match. He's flipping back and forth, and now you see in serve receive, Seabra's on the floor for serve receive purposes. One's a little bit better than the other at serve receive and defense, and now Vikings are going to serve, and Hollowell's back on the floor.
Limited substitutions in men's volleyball, and Shimoni to serve for the Vikings. And too strong once again. You've seen both teams serve very aggressively here. We saw it in the first match. It's really the strategy. When you've got the teams that you're playing, you have to serve aggressively.
Yeah, 1 ace, 5 errors now for Grandview. You'd like to pick up that first column a little bit more, but the only way you're really going to do that in this game is by staying where you're at aggressively.
Adcock to serve. Chapman sets Polanco. Polanco gets another crack at it, able to finish there.
It was almost like Benedictine set him. He swung into the block here, and he jumps right up. It stayed on his side of the net, jumps right up and goes and gets himself. And that's one of the hardest things to do is the step close move. Instead, if you don't have a transition, the hardest thing to do is jump and get effort on that swing.
Wide open net for Trevin Clisby. The sophomore from Las Vegas, the big finish.
I mean, I think there was a little bit of a vision problem there. The middle jumped in front of the setter and really needed to take that one more step over to the right, and might have got a touch on Clisby.
Chapman left side, found it from that back corner.
Same thing from the first match. I'd like to see a shot chart on, we had Rodriguez in that first match, and I'd like to see a shot chart on Felix Chapman because, I mean, there really isn't an angle of the court he can't hit.
Chapman, a season ago, the NAIA Newcomer of the Year. Grandview with the point. Chapman likes what he's seeing up front.
Chapman does a real nice job of noticing that McInerney set that ball off the coverage and was able to get up and swing to his left.
Not much time for Benedictine Mesa to react.
Benedictine is in rotation 3 right now, so they've got 3 hitters in the front row.
Getting the swing is Pole now. And somehow Chapman closes the gap. And on that back line and in is Hennig.
The sheer athleticism that Felix Chapman displayed there to get out and block that first ball was unreal. And you know, credit Benedictine to cover and transition and get the kill on the end line. You know, that's just something that you can't do. And I talked to Coach Cruz about his athleticism. He goes, I mean, he can take one step and get from the middle to the antenna.
Right. 6'8" frame. Big wingspan, big stride.
If I was his coach, I'd worry about my pin blockers with his elbows coming down on top of my on my shoulder.
Benedictine Mesa has tied it up. They won set number 1. Chapman could not handle the tough angle.
That's two off-speed shots in a row that's gone in the net for Chapman. And Grandview's got to start passing the ball just a little bit better to be able to get him back in rhythm.
McInerney in rhythm. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely. I mean, the setter barely had to move. McInerney barely had to move to set that ball. And Felix was able to get outside and do what he does best.
DJ McInerney, an interesting story too. The setter, season ago as a freshman, stepped into the NAIA National Tournament, semifinal and championship matches, and provided a nice lift just for a few points, but came in, provided a nice lift. And Coach Cruz excited even a year ago about his freshman setter, and now seeing him in his sophomore season.
He's really done some nice things this week, and how he's distributed the ball and where he's putting his attackers at, finding the good matchups.
Shimoni stuffed. Benedictine Mesa in front once again now here in the second.
The McInerney's front row, so we got Shimone and 13 Furlong in the middle.
Quick hitter to Furlong initially. Adcock gets the swing and a net violation on Grandview. And a timeout taken by the Vikings. Benedictine Mesa winning set 1, now rolling here in the second on Grandview's home court. Be back with more of the second right after this.
He's 11 kills and 7 errors. Those 11 kills may have been really, really big kills, but those 7 errors have been really, really big errors for his team.
It's a 5-point lead now for head coach Ray Lewis and his Red Hawks. McInerney needs some help. Shimoni the attack, able to get it down.
For a second there, I thought McInerney was back row, and that's why he was trying to go up and save that ball, but he was front row, nothing was illegal in that. I'm gonna wonder if Coach Donan Cruz is going to make the blocking change that we discussed with him earlier. Throughout the week, he's been bringing Blaise Kaikina on the floor to block in place of McInerney when they're serving, to give a little bit of a different look to the offense of Benedictine.
Chapman misses the line on the right side. Benedictine Mesa's lead goes to 5. Back to serve is Bobby Hennig.
It's real interesting with a guy like Felix Chapman. You know, any other, I shouldn't say any other player, almost any other player in the country, if they're hitting 11, 8 of 20, they're coming off the floor. You're not going to keep them in there. But a guy like him, you got to keep him on the floor, you know, because of what he brings mentally and physically.
How about McInerney here at 5'9"?
He must have heard me. He said, I don't need to bring Blaise in for me.
Stuffs Clisby. Now back to serve. Big swing by Clisby.
Clisby went high on the hands there, and you know, McInerney was in a great position to dig the ball, but the soft block went over the top, right over the top of him.
McInerney over to Polanco. There's Adcock. Missed it deep, no touch.
A bit of a longer rally there. I'd like to see, that's the other thing, I'd like to see Grandview start to get in some longer rallies with Benedictine as well. They try to put that, and that's the reason for some of these errors. 15 errors in the match right now for Grandview. They need to control those errors, get into some longer rallies, play some defense, and see what happens. You got to make Benedictine swing more and more and more. I mean, Grandview has already taken 43, I believe it's 43 swings. Benedictine's only taken 36. So you got to get them swinging a lot more.
Service error by Grandview. Right side attack, Polanco missed everything, no touch.
Yeah, now they're just trying to, you know, they're trying to go off those hands. They're not getting any kills right now, you know, straight down on the floor. And you got to give them credit. They're going after them. They're going after those hands of the blockers. They're just missing them a little bit.
The timeout taken by Donan Cruz as Benedictine Mesa has built a 6-point lead. And Tim, we talked about it a little bit in our previous semifinal, as this is semifinal number 2. The winner plays 6th-seeded Aquinas of Michigan. 6-point lead is a big lead. Now, I think right after we said that lead got erased back in the semifinals, because this is all the marbles are on the table.
Yeah, we did talk about that, and it did close, but you know, 6-point lead, and now there's no way to stop this run anymore, because he's out of timeouts by point number 15 for Benedictine. So I think that what you're looking at is he's got to talk to his, you know, certainly his All-American that you see on the screen there, Felix Chapman. Got to talk to him and say, hey, you can't get away from your team right now. With the errors you're making and the errors that are on our team, it's got to bring you closer, you know. And I think that's where you know, him and John Shimone can really bring this team back together. I'm starting to see the glue little come undone on it. They need to get that thing back together and see what can happen. It's not out of the question that they can still come back in this set, but if they don't make it all the way back, can they create enough momentum to take it into the third set and then come back and get this in 5?
Head coach Ray Lewis, you see him right there for Benedictine Mesa. His Red Hawks have a lead here in the second after taking set number 1. Logan Adcock, the senior, back to serve. Received by Hollowell. Chapman Gets it rolling, got it down in front of Izaguirre.
And that's one way to start getting back in this, is to have that first ball side out right out of the timeout. He does a great job of the middle, had to just think about going up with his middle and created enough space. McInerney got the ball off there fast enough and high enough that he was able to put that ball down.
Rafael Seabra, senior from Brazil. His dream job to be head coach in the Olympics. Draws motivation from how hard his parents worked for him to have the opportunities that he's presented here today. Chapman's touch up into the rafters, and it stays up top, does not come back into play.
Sometimes the rafters here help you, sometimes they hurt you. That was a hurt.
Chapman gets the kill. Seabra serving. Left side. Hill caught the back line.
That's a good swing, too. He found the right matchup. They set right into the correct matchup, and then they went over top of, I believe that was Polanco that was over there blocking.
Service error by the senior libero, Izaguirre. He was an NAIA All-American in 2018. Second team All-Conference as a freshman and a sophomore here in his senior season. Top 10 in the country for digs. And once again, the ceiling hurting Benedictine Mesa.
And that was a big one. Second ace of the set, or excuse me, of the day for Grandview. And they got to get that serving game going, like we mentioned, and that 6-point lead's now cut to 3.
Five sophomore, second in the country in aces per set. Grandview cannot keep that one in play.
Yeah, they did a nice job of trying to get that third contact in. Hollowell ran well beyond the end of the court. I was hoping he was going to be okay there. He's back out on the court and serve-receive. Grandview in rotation 4. Both hitters are going to stay in front.
Chapman able to put one away. Grandview within 3.
And again, he can do these kinds of things. He's just got to eliminate some of those errors that he's making while he's trying to do it. Notice the contact point of that swing right there was up at that 11.5, 11.6 number of the 12 feet he can touch. You know, the ones he's getting blocked and the errors he's making, he's contacting at 10.5. And again, 10.5, people are probably laughing that 10.5 is not a high contact point, but in this game it's not.
That one's into the antenna by Henson.
Lead is cut to 2 now. Benedictine also in row 4.
Service error by Grandview. This is Benedictine Mesa Redhawks team, a 3-point lead, and credit their fans. They have not settled down at all here in these first 2 sets. Touch over the net, and the attack by Hennig. Shimoni stuffed by Adcock.
Shimoni set was a little inside, and it brought him into the block a little bit there. And he's got to recognize when he's got those 3 up there, he's got to create a shot. He can't just try to bang through the block every time.
Chapman from the back row gets the touch and the point right at the net.
I feel like we're talking a lot about Felix Chapman's errors here, and you know, we kind of are, but you look at him, you add up the things that he's done. He's got 8 hitting errors, he has 2 serving errors, and he's got a reception error as well. He was aced one. So you've got 11 errors there that he's got to be held accountable for, and he's got to pick up some points for his team here.
Adcock is stuffed. The Red Hawks another opportunity. That time blocked and kept alive. Adcock, the free ball over Chapman, and a net violation on the Red Hawks.
And that's going to be that's a big point for Grandview right there. That was in that long rally. We talked about those long rallies needing to happen for them to have a chance at winning this. Benedictine, credit their defense there. They played great defense there, kept a couple rallies alive.
You see the energy. Chapman flying from that back row position. Hits the point. Grandview within 2, so a timeout taken by Benedictine Mesa here to try and regather their composure. What's Coach Lewis talking about with these Red Hawks as they have a 2-point lead and already a victory in set 1?
Well, I'm happy that he didn't call the timeout 4 points ago when it was down to 2 then. I think that there comes a point in the coaches when he's thinking about his team, you know, I can't bail you out. Let's see how they're going to get out of this. But now you're at this 19-17 point. It's getting a little bit too late, and still you only have that 2-point lead that you got to hold on to and extend. So I like the timeout there. But what he's telling his kids right now is, hey, play our game. We're here for a reason. We've been playing well all week. We haven't lost a match here this week yet.
Yep.
And remember what our motivation coming into this was from what happened a year ago. So I think that's what he's telling them right now. Just reminding them of the game plan too, so they get back to it.
Benedictine Mesa fell to Grandview 3-1 here in Des Moines, Iowa. It was the championship match a season ago. Right now, meeting in the semifinal match, an opportunity awaits for one of these 2 teams. As 6-seeded Aquinas has topped #1 seeded Missouri Baptist here in the semifinals earlier tonight. Shimoni gets a touch on it. There's Polanco on the swing. Adcock, did he get a touch?
He did.
He did.
Yeah, the R1 made the touch call there at the net, and I tell you that is a veteran play. Adcock goes up. It was a tight set, and he held it straight onto his hand. You can see it right here, right onto his hand. You can see those fingers release back in the replay there. But one of the harder plays in volleyball to make, and he did it looking like a pro.
McInerney and Adcock having a friendly conversation at the net right at midcourt. Little smile from McInerney. And they confirm it was touched. So Hennig to serve, the junior out of Phoenix, Arizona.
We'll find out if there was a touch here in a second.
The ball never lies. We're playing this one out. Grandview gets the point as Shimoni delivers.
It looked like Udall and who's been in the middle back, #6, Poldrow. They thought each other was going to play the ball. You know, they crossed over. They made almost a textbook defensive move, but neither one of them played the ball. They thought that each other were going to play it. Don't think, just do.
McInerney serving. Left side, Hill. Adcock, sharp angle, got it in.
And I think that was the right call. It's on the line that we're closest to here. I thought he did catch the sideline. Yep, looks exactly. It looks like he actually caught some red, not just the white.
Serving, Jaron Jones, senior setter. McInerney to Chapman, kept alive by Izzy Higuera. Holloway with the nice touch. Good defense on this point by both squads. Adcock denied. Grandview gets the point. Couple of big blocks up at the net by the Vikings.
There were, and you know, that was a tough play. I thought he had a chance to pull that back out of the net on the Benedictine side and play on the rally, and he kind of just tried to get cute with it and went straight above the net.
Shimoni to serve. Grandview down 2. And too strong from the service line once again.
9 serving errors on Grandview. You know, when we talk to Coach Cruz in between the sets 2 and 3, you know, it's the saying, we found the enemy and the enemy is us. And I think that, you know, he recognizes that they've made a lot of errors, and that's really all they got to do to get back in this.
Shimoni with his 5th service error so far here through the first 2 sets. Chapman with the kill across the net. And to shake hands with Henson.
And you're going to see it here again. Cross court, hits him right in the face. And that's why Chapman runs under the net and gives him a high five or a hug. And that's out of respect. He isn't doing anything taunting there. He's out of there to give him respect.
Yep, didn't mean to do any harm. Benedictine Mesa still a 2-point lead here as we're getting late in the second. Going up high is Hill. Chapman, little touch shot over. And an opportunity to elevate that a little bit. Not on the line. No touch.
You know, I don't have a good angle on the net to see this here, but in fact, I think Chapman might have got away earlier in that rally with a double contact. He tipped it into the block, and it went up high, and then he went to joust it, and I think he touched the ball first, which would have been, or not in the block, he played it up, and then he went up to joust it.
Chapman gets the point. Benedictine Mesa looking to play side-out volleyball here.
And that's 18 kills for him. If they get back in this here, he could arguably have 20, averaging 10 kills per set here in these first 2 frames.
Comes in averaging over 5 per set. Give him one more.
He's getting this crowd fired up right now, and I believe Coach Ray Lewis has only called 1 timeout. He's got another one available, I believe.
23-22 here in the second. The home crowd thought they had a service ace. Chapman didn't quite get his feet underneath him. And finding the back corner is Charles Polnow.
I mean, it's a great shot choice by Chapman. I think he wanted to go a little bit more to left back. He roll shotted it right to middle back where they're playing defense, where their base defense is at. He cuts that ball 10 feet to his left. I think he scores on it.
So Polnow gives the Red Hawks set point here in the second. Liza Guerra, what a touch. Grandview right back to Chapman. And Chapman puts it down. And so that is 20.
20 kills for Chapman in the first 2 sets. And I'll tell you what, he may get 21. They're going to set him out of the back row. He's the only one scoring right now for Grandview.
And a timeout taken by Benedictine Mesa as head coach Ray Lewis trying to diagram an answer for number 18, Felix Chapman, for Grandview.
He hasn't done it yet. He may be thinking, he was just talking to McInerney on the sideline there. He hasn't pulled the trigger yet on this substitution for blocking, but we'll take a look at what Benedictine brings out onto the floor and what rotation they're in. we may see that Kahikina come on the floor for a blocking purpose. Now, the problem with that is that you take your setter off the floor, so you're forced to be out of system automatically. And if your libero takes, and you're going to see Chapman right here. That was off. That was the one that went cross court off the face, and then he hit another one. And I think he had one right after that, went off the shoulder of left back. You know, speaking of that swing right there, yeah, the libero. We talked about that in the first set.
Yep.
He's going to find his position to dig Felix Chapman, and he's found that position. Now he's got to be able to control that ball a little more. And it's hard to not dig a ball up into the rafters when the speed of that ball's coming
so
fast. So we'll see what they bring out here. It looks like he's going to leave McInerney on the floor, so he's not worried about the matchup. Looking at, they're in rotation 4, so they've got 2 hitters. Number 6 and number 14 are the hitters. He is going to make the change. So he's bringing in Logan McAllister, who he hasn't done that with him yet. But Logan's 6'2", maybe puts up a stronger block. And maybe he's just thinking mentality, we want them to go somewhere else, so we're going to put him in this position to block.
McAllister listed as an outside.
I'd like to see Shimone get moved over and switch block, but they leave it where it's at.
You do have Blaze up front as well. But off the block and down for a Benedictine Mesa point, and that is the set 2 winner.
And that's the gamble you make as a coach. We take risks as coach, and those risks sometimes have a reward, sometimes they don't. That time they didn't have the reward, but credit them for being in it late.
So we take another look at the game winner for Benedictine Mesa. The big swing off the left side, and the crowd.
Credit Grandview for making the switches and getting 3 blockers out there to defend it, but just a great swing overall by Benedictine.
So Benedictine Mesa head coach Ray Lewis in his 2nd season talked about revenge from a season ago, and a really good start here to this semifinal against Grandview. And Coach joining us now. Coach, what are you seeing from your guys here in the first 2 sets that just really seem to have Grandview back on their heels?
We just talked about believing in the rally. That's one thing we've talked about all year, is that our defense creates a lot of opportunities for us offensively. And so we're just trying to be patient, touch as many balls as we can, and really just stay within our system.
Coach Tim Keating here, your offense is pretty diverse today. You don't have anyone standing out with 20 kills like Felix Chapman has right now in this match. Talk about how you express to your kids how diverse your offense can be and how that can be effective.
We just talked to them about, any given day, any guy can be our best guy. We really believe in the team before the individual, and so I don't really believe we have a best player. We have a lot of really good guys, and they work together. So, they're all doing their part to score. They're all doing their part defensively, and that's what makes us a good team.
Well, your kids are playing hard right now. Good luck in the next set.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Benedictine Mesa head coach Ray Lewis. We will be back with more semifinal action. Felix Chapman with 20 kills, but his Vikings are down 2-0 as the Red Hawks are rolling here in Des Moines. Grandview. And we take a look now at some highlights from our first 2 sets here. Polanco getting involved with the offense. There was a lot of Chapman for the Vikings.
Yeah, he took a lot of big cuts. I mean, he's already at 33 swings taken. 20 of those have been kills, like we mentioned, of the 27 for Grandview. Here's the other number. They were at 062, I believe, or 061 at the end of the first set. They're at 141 now. They've brought that number up. They have eliminated some errors, so they got to continue to do that. And then there's a couple other columns of errors they got to eliminate as well, and one's from behind the serving line. They've got 9 serving errors in this match so far, and I think what we'll see in this third set, Felix Chapman has 2 of those serving errors. What we'll see in this set is him backed off to the jump float serve that he did earlier in this week when he got kind of in that rut. And then once he gets a couple of those in, he goes right back to that topspin serve.
All right, there you see your numbers after the first 2 sets as Benedictine Mesa cooling off just a bit, hitting just 200. But Grandview at 141. See 6.5 blocks for Benedictine Mesa as well. Had a really solid defensive performance as far as blocks concerned throughout this week.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think that Benedictine, look at their attack percentage number as well. It's only at 200. They're not that far off. And, the 6.5 blocks surprises me a little bit with as many swings as Felix has taken. So he's got to stay at that high contact point so that number doesn't jump up.
Quick hitter to Crawford right out of the gates for Grandview here in the third. Benedictine Mesa a 2-0 lead. And could avenge their loss in the championship match with a win here in the third to advance to the championship match. Net violation whistled on Grandview.
That's another column that I haven't scrolled over to here. I'll have to find that in a second. But the blocking errors as well. I feel like there's been a lot of net violations in this match.
Logan Adcock serving. Adcock, the attack from the back row. Gets the finish. And the Redhawks in front.
He's the kill leader right now for Benedictine. That's his 7th kill of the night. Only 3 errors. That'll bring him up to closer to 200 on the night. And he's been kind of quiet, a quiet kill leader for Benedictine tonight.
Leads the team, closing in on 300 kills on the season. Top 10 in aces, digs.
It's a good shot by Polanco down the line there off the hands. Really underutilized shot, swinging down the line with the way the defense is set up.
Shimoni into the net. And Shimoni, 6 service errors now on the Viking senior.
This is one of those matches when I was coaching a team, we'd keep us after practice and we'd serve for about an hour.
10 service errors already as a team now. Grandview an opportunity to get in system. Chapman went right into the block of Hennig.
And that's that inside out swing again where they made him play some defense and he had to come back out to attack that ball. And that's when he is contacting at his lowest point because it's making him off balance. It's dropping his shoulder down a little bit. So as long as Benedictine continues to make him play balls on first contact before he swings, you're going to see that happen.
Chapman kept it alive, running into the bench, but his team could not keep the ball in play. He went through the bench.
That's the effort you're still going to get out of him regardless of what the point of the match is.
It's a 5-2 lead here early on. Polanco gets denied. Benedictine Mesa just playing with some amazing energy and enthusiasm up front. And an early timeout taken by Grandview head coach Donan Cruz.
8.5 blocks.
It's a 4-point lead for Benedictine Mesa, as it is a block party for the Redhawks. They lead it 2-0 and in front in the third.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever, because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school, and I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose NAIA.
I am a champion of character.
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 Welcome back to Des Moines, Iowa. We are in set 3 alongside Tim Keating. I am Brad Wells. Thank you for joining us for this NAIA semifinal match as Grandview University hosts the NAIA National Tournament. This is the second year in a row they have been able to host here in Des Moines. And right now, Benedictine Mesa, the 6-3 lead over Grandview, the host school, and leading 2-0.
Should be mentioned also that Grandview has gotten the bid to host the next 2 years as well.
So it will be back here in 2020 and 21. And Benedictine Mesa here playing possessed as a team. You think about Coach Ray Lewis being very upfront, saying, hey, it's quite an experience. We've got a lot of experience back from last year's team that has a bitter taste in their mouth from losing to Grandview University a season ago in the championship game right here on this court. And they've been playing with something to prove all season, and now is an opportunity for that revenge game here.
That was an unbelievable defensive rally by Benedictine, and it's exactly what Coach Ray Lewis said to us in between sets 2 and 3. They're making defensive efforts. Just think about the team, not about ourselves, and they come away with the kill there. Biggest thing again is Felix Chapman getting dug by Izzy Aguirre cross court.
On the line, service, ace. As the Redhawks just continue to roll, and another timeout taken by the Grandview Vikings. Well, let's talk about those Redhawks, because they are rolling here. They've got a fun crowd behind them. They have been electric all day, and they're playing well at the net. You're seeing the defense now, and they're improving their offensive efficiency as well, hitting close to 250 now.
Yeah, and they're picking that kill number up. They're at 24. They entered the third set at 20 kills. So only in 9 points have they added already 4 kills to that. So their efficiency is going up there. They've cleaned it up a little bit behind the service line since set number 1, and they're going to continue to do that. But the biggest thing is the scrappiness and the defense that they're playing. They're frustrating Grandview right now. They're forcing Grandview to get in rallies when they're typically the one that will give you a first ball side out right away. And they've got to, Grandview's got to start putting balls away, but what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to hit that straight down big thunder kill, and then that block column continues to go up for Benedictine. What I'd like to see Benedictine do here into the serve receive of Grandview, they're going to try to go at Felix and bring him inside again. What Grandview needs to do is Felix needs to hit a 1 ball or something in the middle of the net so he doesn't have to hit that inside out swing.
For Benedictine Mesa, 4 kills on 6 attacks, no errors here in the third. Their block total up to 8.5 as Chapman tries to get the Vikings back on track.
And the only thing that didn't go right there was they didn't bring him inside to pass that ball. They served it right at him, and he was able to get a transition and swing.
Back to serve is Polanco. And a service error, number 11, as a team against Grandview.
You know, there comes a point of a match where you kind of say, hey, we have to do whatever we can. We're going to be okay with the errors. And then there's a point of the match that you pull them off because you still have a shot of getting there. I think they still have a shot of getting back into this match. So, you know, I think that maybe the decision to pull off a little bit and spot serve might be there.
Left side swing for Adcock up against the triple block. He'll get another crack at it. Pushes it over. Polanco is there. Here's Chapman on the swing. It's a point for Grandview.
Yeah, his 22nd kill already. You know, I'm watching him at the net and blocking. His vision at the net blocking wise is tremendous. He realized that outside hitter wasn't going to take a swing, so he came off block defense. Didn't have to play the ball, but transitioned all the way outside the court and was able to get a good swing and a point for his team.
So Chapman back to serve. Over 20 kills. He had 20 kills after the second set, and the Raptors helping the home team on that point.
Yeah, that was definitely a home bounce up in the rafters. I think it got above. It was in this row here, and it got above that ventilation duct.
Back to serve is Chapman. And misses it deep. So Chapman, the ace and the air from the service line.
Well, they haven't taken him off of it yet, and they may keep him on that topspin serve.
Back to serve. This is Bobby Hennig, the All-American. On the season, hitting .388 on the attack percentage, second on the team with 39 kills. Shimoni off the block gets a point.
Yeah, it was a big swing. You know, the hands of the blockers stayed facing where that attacker was coming from. And you know, as a coach, what you teach your blockers to do is you want to stay parallel to the net. Your hands are like a wall, and if you hit that ball at an angle at the wall, it's going to go back to the middle of the court there. If you're facing the wall and you hit it directly into it, it's going to come out of bounds. So that attack came from the approach out of bounds, and it goes back out of bounds into the block.
Swing by Adcock is good. 8 kills now for Logan Adcock, the senior.
Let's see who that block was against. They ran him inside. They tried to go inside to get a little bit more of a matchup against the middle there. It's a good swing by Adcock.
Right open net for Polanco, kept alive. Adcock able to finish.
What an unbelievable dig to kill transition there. Obviously the dig wasn't by the attacker, but I mean, look at what Jones just did. One-handed save straight up, and they get a swing and kill out of it.
The all-around game of this Red Hawks team has been impressive here tonight. Polanco finds a gap in what's been a solid block line by the Red Hawks.
That's one of the few swings that went through and didn't touch a hand on the block.
Back to serve, DJ McInerney, the sophomore setter. Clisby that time with the finish. And it's 14-8 here in the third.
Shimone had a decision to go up and help on that block or to drop off and play defense. And I think about halfway through trying to go up and help block that, he made the decision to switch and come off and play defense, and ended up not helping them very much.
Adcock still serving aggressively. Chapman gets it down in front of Izaguirre.
Chapman came flying out of the back row on this one. I mean, it's almost unfair for how long he is and what he can do. It's almost unfair. It's kind of like he's in the front row for 6 rotations.
Chapman gets a touch at the net, and it's another point.
I thought Logan Adcock took a little bit off on this first swing. This is the kill by Felix. On the first swing by Adcock, they ran the tandem, and in the middle, number 23, Brendan Crawford for Grandview, bit with the first attacker, and Adcock had no blocker up, but he took a little bit off the swing. I think he could have got a little bit more on that, possibly the kill.
25 kills now for Felix Chapman for the Grandview Vikings.
It's like they called an out of rotation, an overlap on the serving team, and it was at the net.
Benedictine Mesa with the point. Head coach Ray Lewis liking what he's seen from the energy from his guys.
And I think that, you know, you saw the captain go over and talk to the first official, and I think that was what was said, because it was communicated from the bench to take a look at, and right at contact to serve, they called it.
Chapman adds to his total.
It's a big swing down the line by Felix Chapman. Right off the defender. Actually, the defender was in a perfect place to play that ball. He just didn't have the angle in on his platform.
Back to serve is Seabra, senior from Brazil. Swing left side by Henson. Wyatt Henson has been playing so well. It's his 5th kill for the service ace. He's been a part of that block up front. Tough angle for Polanco to handle. And
yeah, you said it exactly right. That's a tough angle. The ball came from 20 to 25 feet away, and it's got to get across his body and attack that ball down. He tried to go down the line with it. Sometimes you just got to give yourself only one shot and hit that ball angle and come in on a better one.
Trenton Udall back to serve. Service air just about caught Hollowell on that back line.
Going to make that blocking substitution here. Furlong is going to come in there, and Furlong's been the middle up to this point, and now they're bringing him in for that blocking substitution. We'll see where they put him on the net.
So McInerney on the bench. Here's Jones setting Devin Hill deep, and
this is how good Benedictine's playing right now. And you know, we talked about Jones in the pregame. This is how good they're playing right now. If you watch this replay, they realized that they brought Furlong into block, but there was more of a decoy than anything. And Furlong stayed on the left. They audibled into a slide attack right away, so they could attack into him, realizing that Felix Chapman stayed over here, and they wanted Felix to block the outside. That's how well Benedictine's playing right now, and what they're seeing.
Well, let's talk about their setter then, Jaron Jones, the senior, who's directing traffic out there. The vision that he has shown in the spots he's been able to put his guys in here in this match.
Yeah, like I said, his vision at the net right now, and his vision for his attackers and his offense, based on what the defense of Grandview is doing, is uncanny. I mean, he's doing such a great job. In fact, you know, match ended right now. He'd be our player. He'd be my choice for player of the game because of what he's doing. And certainly, you know, he's a senior. He's a leader. Coach Ray Lewis talks as high as you can talk about anybody about him. So he's just doing a great job.
Since he moved into his senior season, coach said he has become a better leader, and he challenged him to be a better blocker up front. He's like, he has done that. Felix Chapman, 25 kills in the match for the service air. As Benedictine Mesa, the Redhawks. If they came into this tournament with one thing on their mind, revenge over Grandview from the loss in the championship match a season ago, it is really coming to fruition here for them in this semifinal match.
Certainly they're about to accomplish that if this doesn't go change any kind of momentum, but yeah, big swing that just missed the sideline. That's a good call out of bounds. But no, yeah, if that was what their I guess what I'm trying to say is that if that's what they came in, their motivation to do, they're accomplishing it right now.
The winner will take on the 6th-seeded Aquinas Saints, who are 31-4 after topping Missouri Baptist, the #1 seed, and handing the Spartans their first loss of the season. As Lisby missed wide right. Back to serve goes Brandon Anderson, senior defensive specialist from Davis Junction, Illinois. And missed deep.
That's 15 serving errors on Grandview in this match, 5% right now.
Back to serve is Jones. There you see the senior setter. Shimoni gets blocked and it lands right on the line. Devin Hill, the stuff.
And you can certainly tell that Benedictine's game plan was to make Felix Chapman play first contact as much as they can, because almost every serve receive ball has gone to him.
And missed everything, just about caught a Viking on that back line. The Benedictine Redhawks trying to close out the Grandview Vikings in the NAIA National Semifinal match.
You know, we talked a lot about Jones there a second ago. We just saw on the screen DJ McInerney. You know, you talked a little bit about him earlier in the match in his transition to being the full-time setter for Grandview. You got to give credit to him. He hasn't made many bad decisions today. He made a couple of questionable ones. However, right, the way that he's playing, those hitters just haven't been able to put the ball away, and that's credit to the defense of Benedictine as well. But that's a great set choice, and Felix was able to get it by the block. But again, the defender in the right position to defend that ball and get him an opportunity to take another swing.
Another great touch by Izaguirre, the senior out of Phoenix, Arizona, the libero for Benedictine Mesa. So many great touches by him, and even Chapman, once he kind of got the rhythm figured out. Here's Shimoni. Jones goes outside to Henson.
Another good matchup that they set into, that Jones set into. Was able to cut it back to the left, and I think Shimoni got caught going a little bit to his right on defense, which ultimately, once that ball's contacted, he didn't have a chance to get back.
Match point for Benedictine Mesa. Chapman keeps it alive for Grandview. Chapman, just an incredible night.
I would say that wherever Felix is, they're not going to set the ball into him right now. They got him in the middle right now, so really anywhere you go, he's going to have an opportunity to be a part of the block.
Adcock sets Henson. And kind of that free opportunity for Grandview. The Redhawks send it over. Another one right back, but it's blocked, and Benedictine Mesa is headed to the NAIA championship match for the second year in a row.
What a great effort by both teams, really, and it just came down to who played a little bit more efficiently tonight. And congrats to Benedictine on making the championship game.
Benedictine Mesa, the Redhawks, get their 25th win of the season. They are 25-4 and into the championship match for the second consecutive year. They will take on the 6th-seeded Aquinas Saints, who are 31-4, took down the top seed. Here is a look at the game winner. And Chapman just tried to get it down into the net as Hennig was there, the All-American for Benedictine Mesa, to help seal the deal. We'll be back and hear from Benedictine Mesa on their trip to the championship match. Welcome back to our second semifinal of the NAIA Men's Volleyball National Championship Tournament, as the Benedictine Mesa Redhawks top the Grandview Vikings 3-0, as they will take on the Aquinas Saints in tomorrow's championship match. And Tim Keating now standing by with Benedictine Mesa head coach Ray Lewis. Tim?
Hey, we're with the winning coach, Coach Ray Lewis. Coach, heck of a performance by your team tonight. Thoughts on the match?
We just came out and we played well together. We talked about just playing as a team. They have phenomenal players, and Felix was a hell of a player tonight. A lot of kills put away, but as our identity is just play together, one point at a time.
Yeah, and your guys, you got to give credit to your defense. You guys kept a lot of balls around, and your libero really stepped in front of Felix and dug a lot of balls. Took a couple off of different parts of the body, but your defense played stellar tonight.
Yeah, we just said 1 point at a time, let's try to touch every ball. Like I said earlier, offense wins matches, defense wins championships. So if we can do it one more time, I think we're going to be in great shape.
They get to stay in Des Moines one more night, one more match tomorrow night. Congrats.
Thank you.
And we're going to bring in Jaron Jones. Jaron Jones, our player of the match. Congratulations on the match win and playing in the national championship tomorrow night. As a senior setter, what does this mean to you?
Everything. I mean, to come here with the same team from last year that just fell short, it's amazing. I love it.
Going in, we talked about you a lot on the broadcast tonight, and your decision-making was on point. You set into some great matchups for your hitters, and they got to love you tonight for what positions you put them into.
It's all them. I mean, I can see what they do around the block. I mean, I can see switch blocks and stuff like that, but they need to still put the ball away, and we have great passing right now, and our attackers are just doing what they do, and it's worked out for us tonight.
Well, great. Congratulations on the semifinal win. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, our championship match tomorrow night will come your way. Benedictine Mesa and the Aquinas Saints. Here is another look at match point as Benedictine Mesa. It's a Red Hawk redemption in the semifinals of the NAIA Men's Volleyball Championship Tournament. So for Tim Keating, our entire crew, I'm Brad Wells. So long from Des Moines, Iowa. The final score is Benedictine Mesa 3, Grandview 0. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live on the ESPN app, where you can watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Just log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN.